When the epidemic spread to the whole world began to take responsibility, and even the Americans announced in a high profile. Now, what we need to figure out is whether it is out of control or deliberately already hammered. This virus came from the laboratory in Wuhan. A Nobel Prize-winning biologist in France. Because of the discovery of HIV, he stood up and said, "This virus is man-made." So, he listed a lot of scientific data. We can't understand it completely. We only know one thing. His doubters are saying that he has no common sense of science. Compared to a scholar who has won a Nobel Prize. Who has the common sense of biology? Well, in this atmosphere, everyone is to blame. Started slapping and knocking melon seeds. People think they can be a bystander. Look at the international community to target China against the Chinese government. What kind of responsibility can be carried out? Countless people are rejoicing. No one wants to shed their own blood. They hope that through international accountability, they can overthrow the rule of the Communist Party of China and eradicate this evil regime. We know that the hearts of the people are old, right? The people we see are becoming less and less bloodless. So how did all this happen? I am from Nanjing. Mention Nanjing. The first thing that comes to mind is not the ancient capital of the six dynasties. In other words, it used to be the capital of the Republic of China. When it comes to Nanjing, more people think of the case of Peng Yu, the case of helping the elderly in Nanjing. When you are on the internet, all you have to do is type the word Nanjing. You can see all this. Why is he so famous? Because 14 years ago, a famous case happened in Nanjing in 2006. A young man named Peng Yu picked up an old lady named Zhu Shaolin who fell to the ground. In the end, he went to court. He was judged by the judge. He helped the old lady up, sent her to the hospital, and paid 200 yuan for her registration fee. The judge held that it was not in line with common sense. So, in the end, he lost more than 40,000 yuan. It is agreed that it is the beginning of China's moral decline. Or it's an iconic thing. From then on, moral decay is considered to be very normal in the eyes of all Chinese people. Because the court won't support you. Even if you act bravely, you will pay a high price. So, everyone bowed to this evil government and its draconian laws. No longer willing to hold out his hand. Don't want to shed your own blood. Even if you see someone fall to the ground, life is in jeopardy. You should also count your wallet. See if your bank account is enough to pay the bill, so that you can carry forward your bravery. By comparison? By contrast, in Western societies, many countries have a Good Samaritan law. What are Samaritans? Now, there may only be a few hundred left. They're still in Israel. They were thought to be of mixed race, and the Jews looked down on him. Jesus Christ once said in the Gospel of Luke, "A Jew fell by the side of the road. There are sacrifices in the past. Some Levites have passed, too. Didn't see him, or didn't want to see him. So, a Samaritan passed by, saw, and saved the Jew. He used this fable to express a simple truth. A person, you want to look at him is to look at his heart, not his identity. So, in modern countries, including the United States, Canada, Italy, Spain, many countries have Good Samaritan laws. This law is helping people. When you do something good, it will absolve you from legal liability. So even if you didn't mean it, right? In the process of rescue, you may have caused 2 injuries. However, use the provisions of the law to avoid your risks. Make more people willing to help others. Talking about Western civilization, talking about Jesus Christ. It is not difficult for us to think of Confucius, who was his contemporaries. Is there no such kind of teaching in Chinese tradition? What is the story of Zilu Xiaoyu? Everyone should know. In Chinese history, such teachings can be found everywhere. But in real life, we see less and less. Everyone is willing to let American soldiers set foot on Chinese soil in military boots. They would rather be a leading party than use their own strength. Even a very weak force to resist this tyranny. Looking forward to international accountability, right? Expect others to bring peace to China. How many people's blood was shed in the process? It has nothing to do with him. What he wants is a democratic, free, and constitutional country. And this country was founded by someone else. He's only responsible for enjoyment, isn't he? In real life, there are too many Chinese like this. They think they can stand it if China doesn't change. As long as the change is good, he applauds. If the environment is getting worse and worse, he won't talk. When talking about the China issue, we must clearly consider such a commonness. There is no basis for public opinion in China. All the bases of public opinion. If you spread it out and crush it, it will make you very sad. The vast majority of people are concerned about maintaining the status quo, even if the standard of living is further lowered, as long as it is within his tolerance. He thinks it doesn't matter. When it comes to his interests, he will shout twice. Is anyone really willing to change China with their own blood? 4 or 2 dials 1,000 jin. Be a lobbyist. Wander among international forces. Use the power of outsiders. Even borrow a knife to kill people. Raise a protest case that was originally an ordinary case to the level of politics. They use other people's blood to warn more people. That's so many stories we've seen. And some are dirty, aren't they? In order to keep a voice free for a long time. To a certain extent, they tolerated some of the bad policies of the communists. Even, under extreme conditions, they reached some compromises with the Communist Party of China to preserve their own reputation and continue to speak, so that they can continue to appear in front of people as a flag. For example, we know about the Qian Yunhui case. Why is it finally defined as an ordinary traffic accident case? Why can everyone acquiesce to it? Finally, choose to remember and selectively forget it. Why? Because of a public intellectual, right? Now, there are still many people in Beijing. A well-known dissident They can post on Twitter. They can even connect to VOA. Do a report on China. Does everyone think this is normal? More of our well-known protesters. In a 10-year active period. During this period, the worst blow to them was detention for 15 days. And the dissidents who gathered together with them, who roamed all over the country. They are often sentenced to 3 to 5 years, or even 10 or 8 years. Now, there's a longer sentence. This is the situation we face today. Not every shiny name is so dazzling. Because of everyone's tolerance, it is believed that there should be some people in this world who have a stronger voice. So, our kindness is helping them. We are acquiescing in the example of one by one helped up by the communists. They are accepting limited criticism and giving the whole society a certain channel of catharsis. Although this channel is getting narrower and narrower. Many people are still nostalgic for the period of Jiang Zemin and Hu Jintao. But it doesn't exist anymore. What is required now is to restore the Fengtiao experience during the Cultural Revolution. In the future, the road of China and all the roads of struggle will be unfolded. Including these early actors, life will become more and more difficult. In mass incidents, the proportion of violent repression will gradually increase. We are ushering in an era of the darkest. I wish everyone can take care of themselves. Since everyone chooses to wait, let's wait. So, a lot of people ask me what I can do if I don't leave. Just one word. Endure. Because you don't want to show your bravery. So, you can only face this tyranny cowardly. All right, thank you. Goodbye.